feel stuck? Do you feel like you're just at the same place in your career and you don't really see a way out? This is a great time for you to take it to the next level. Level Careers is a course that I've been talking about for some time. From account executive and even sales engineering, there are courses that can help you propel from where you are now to where you want to go. Check out the link below, use my promo code Joseph10, and check out the free courses, whether that's the SOC analyst course, the account executive course, or the sales engineer course. Take your career to the next level. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to another edition of Techniche Tips. I'm your host, Joseph M. Smith. And like always, I have another one for you. And like always, I'm excited as well. I do have a special guest that is coming to the show today. Her name is Chanel Rose. And we want to say hi because we treat all of our guests with love, with affection, with just respect. And we want to just say thank you so much for taking the time to come on to the show, Chanel.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to dive into Chanel's story. And if you're here for the first time, typically how we do this is we first talk about, what has brought Chanel to be here, where she is right now. And then we talk a bit about a Q&A section where you could ask questions. You could ask questions to Chanel and she'll be able to respond to you. But we got some housekeeping things to do first. And before I do that, I'm going to go to the comments section because we have a few people in the building. We have Operation Tech Takeover says, please and blessings, family. We have Mitch in the building says, hey, hey, hey. And always, as always, Operation Tech Takeover says, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, the Q&A portion of the show will be on YouTube, so come on over. That is right. And I'm so glad he said that because what's going to happen is by the halfway mark of this show, we are going to take the Q&A section exclusively to YouTube. You heard me. It's exclusively going to be on YouTube, so you definitely want to make sure that you are available for that. But what you can do right now is if you do have a burning question, go ahead and type it in the chat. When you type it in the chat, I'm going to save it for later so we don't miss your Q&A portion. Now, if you saw earlier, there was an ad by our dear beloved Level Careers. Level Careers is a course taught by Kevin Dorsey and a few other people. And if you are interested in learning more about Level Careers, whether it's being a sales engineer, growing in your skills in tech sales and becoming an account executive, or even being a SOC analyst, go ahead and especially if you're on LinkedIn, specifically if you're on LinkedIn, go ahead and type in tech sales or technical for more resources. That's tech sales. Type that in LinkedIn if you are in need of any resources, or technical. And I'm going to have somebody from my team reach out to you from support at technichetips.com. That's support at technichetips.com. They're going to reach out to you to provide you resources to kind of give you a guide and say, hey, which will be the best choices for you if you are looking for resources. And I'm going to have more resources available to you in the upcoming months. So please stay tuned. This channel is all about giving back. So again, type in tech sales or technical if you have any questions, and I'll have somebody from my team reach out to you. So that way, especially if you are on LinkedIn, that way you could get the resources that you need. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Instagram, go ahead and connect with me at my LinkedIn page, which is linkedin.com/at JM Smith. And that's going to be in the description on YouTube. Connect with me and say, hey, I want some resources, and I'll try to send the best resources I can to you. All right. And without further ado, we're going to have a great conversation. And I want to preface this by going back to the comments section really quickly because we have some people in the building. Again, we have Ty Smith. What up, Ty? And Ty is
Hey,
actually the one that introduced us, right?
hey, Ty.
He said he's excited for this. We have Tech Job Tina saying, good morning, beautiful people. Now,
Good
if you
morning.
weren't, yeah, good morning. She actually was on the previous interview that we had last week. Phenomenal story. Really love how she was able to transition from being an SDR to an AE in only 9 months. So definitely check out that conversation if you have not already. Oh man. So he's like, hey, we all in the house. It's a party over here. Go ahead, like, comment, and share. If you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, or even on Instagram, this is going to be a good story. So, Chanel, before we get into it, let's first start talking about something specific, which is your story. But let's talk about where you are right now. For those that do not know you, can you just share a little bit about Chanel Rose, who you are right now, and what you're doing?
Oh, thank you. I know all about that, so I'm happy to talk about myself. My name is Chanel Rose, and I am in Chicago, Illinois. That's my favorite place in the whole wide world. If you've ever met anybody from Chicago, you know we love where we're from.
Yeah.
So now I've gotten that out the way. What I do is I am a business, well, I call myself a revenue architect because what I do is I help businesses create systems that generate revenue for their business.
Ooh, nice.
That is a short version of what that means. On the lean in, if you're a beginner, it's helping you figure out which one of your passions you want to turn into a business and how you turn that passion into profit. And then if you're kind of in the middle and you're trying to scale, we typically go in two directions. We're either saving you time to make you money and then grow, or we are in full on growth mode. And my favorite part of growth, which is probably how I ended up here, is through government contracting. I call myself, two things: a revenue architect and a small business consultant for government contracts.
Awesome. Thank you so much for breaking that down. There is so much to unpack there in regards to just your story and everything that we can see there. Because I mean, I'm looking at your LinkedIn. You have a lot of things going on for you. I want to kind of go back in time. You said you're from Chi-Town. Chi-Town, stand up. If anybody else is from Chi-Town, go ahead and put it in the chat. Represent strong for your city. Put on for your city, as they say. I would love to hear what was it like growing up there, and what made you decide that you wanted to get into, I believe it was first, and correct
Government
me if I'm wrong, government contracting. Exactly. What made you decide to get into that area of work?
So, first of all, I'm from the south side of Chicago. I want to make that clear.
Yes.
Michelle Obama and I have that in common. That's my favorite fun fact about my life. Is that the fact that we're both from the south side of Chicago? And to address that first question, what is it? What was it like growing up on the south side? Incredible, incredible. I always like to tell people I grew up big B black, so I think that in some instances
Oh,
people
yeah,
don't
explain
realize.
that.
Oh, I'm about to. So, what Big B Black means to me is that I went to a Black church. I grew up in a Black family that supported me being a woman who was intelligent. It was expected for us to grow and nurture ourselves in a
Mm,
very positive environment. I didn't grow up really being afraid of anything. Like, no one told me as a kid to be scared, to be worried, to be afraid. I was just raised that like being Black was beautiful and normal. And so I
mm,
went to a church that the moniker is unapologetically Black, unashamedly Christian. And
mhm,
so, I mean, I think that my summers were amazing. Fun fact: the song "Summertime" by Will Smith is about his
mhm,
time he spent in Chicago. So if you
mm,
think that it's just me, no. University Chicago is an amazing place to live. It's an amazing place to raise a family, and I'm just incredibly lucky to say that I'm from here. And there have been so many incredible experiences. Um, just being here now, even today, and specifically as someone from the South Side, I always like to make sure people know I grew up feeling safe. I would raise a family on the South Side of Chicago. I have no
mm.
qualms about who I am and where I'm from.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, how did I get into government contracting? When I was in college, I was an intern for a lobbying firm, and I had a friend who was working for the lieutenant governor at the time. And very short story. We were trying to unbundle textbooks. So I don't know. I'm that old when we had actual books, but
Yeah, I
they
remember
would
those days
bundle them
too.
together. And then I'm really about to age myself. So there was a textbook, a workbook, and a CD. And so most of the time you didn't use all of them. The bundle would be this big. And so
Yeah.
what we were fighting for was unbundling the books to help save students hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. Hey, Crystal.
What up,
Hundreds
girl?
thousands of dollars throughout their college career. And so when I went to go meet with the lieutenant governor, he let us know there was a contract opportunity to work within his office. And Chanel being Chanel, I waited to the last minute. And I always tell this story because I want y'all to know that audacity will take you very far. I called the
Ooh,
lieutenant governor on his cell phone because he gave us a cell phone number. And I was like, hey, are y'all still hiring for that contract? He was like, yeah, you can still apply for the contract. I was like, I would like to do that. How do I do that? Now, mind you, this is the lieutenant governor of the state, like the state of Illinois. And I called the man on his cell phone to ask him about the contract. So that is
wow.
actually how I got into it because if you missed it, there are three things that you will hear me talk about a lot: community, networking, and consistently being audacious over and over again. And those three things are how I got into government contracting, and I have grown essentially from where I was planted.
I love it. I love it. I actually wrote that down. Community, network, and being audacious. Were you always
Consistently audacious.
consistently audacious? Listen,
That's
y'all,
yeah.
I want y'all to be like me and write down these notes that come along your way because you can use this even today. Listen, this is not just a thing that she could use in that one period of time. This is something that you literally could do today in regards to not just getting into your next job or even getting into the industry, but for life. And it's so funny because in tech sales, we tell people to do the job to get the job, and you literally cold called to get your job, like literally. And I love it. I love it. There's no shame in the game, y'all. There's
It's
no
not.
shame in the game.
Not.
But it's really the bowl that really get it. You don't get what you don't get what you should get, or you get what you negotiate, right?
Mhm.
And so I'll put that in the chat. If you are finding some amazing things, what resonates with you most, family? Is it community, networking, or I'm gonna say again, consistent audacity?
Yes.
Consistent audacity.
Yeah.
Which one resonates with you right now? Go ahead and put in the chat. Let us know. We actually have Angela that said consistently audacious, right?
Yeah.
She said that's the one that resonates with me. I think that we definitely want to harp on that because in this time, sometimes we get comfortable and we want things to be handed to us. But you seem like a person that is a go getter. Did you always have that, or was that something that you kind of developed along the way as you got older?
Oh, I would like to think that I've probably always been audacious.
Yeah.
Um, so I like to explain this to people so that they understand why my personality is the way it is. I am the baby girl of an oldest son and a baby girl, right? So my mama is the baby girl and my father is the oldest, right? Those are two people who always feel
Yeah.
like they deserve to have what they want. Those are the extremes of the spectrum, right? The oldest son and the baby girl. And so, see, Crystal has known me my whole life.
Yeah. She
So,
said yes, always.
yeah. So, along the way, I think that, like, I really believe that I deserve to have what I want. And I'm a compromiser. So, I think that everybody should have what they want. But as long as it includes what I want too, I don't really see an objection to that. Yeah, I don't really understand a world that exists where you can comfortably float through life, not trying things, not getting what you want. And I think the key thing for me is that I grew up in a very honest environment, and so I saw failure.
Mm,
Like, and not only did I see failure in very big ways, but I saw the coming over the failure. And I think that children specifically need to know that sometimes their parents don't always get it. And
yeah.
when you demystify adulthood for people, I think that the long term impact is you can't quantify it. And I think that's what happened with me.
Mm.
So I always ask for what I want. I can give you tons of examples of me maybe being too audacious sometimes.
Hey, I
But yeah,
think sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. You were gonna say something?
no, go ahead.
No, I think the reason why I'm harping on that because what you're talking about right now, which is community slash network, right, and being audacious in this climate, how are you going to get ahead? You got to find your community. You have to network, and within that, you of course like we talk about right now, you want to find a way to position yourself and ask the question like, hey, this is what I truly want. If you go into an organization and you don't really kind of start that conversation from the beginning with your manager, they may give you something, but it may not be what you want.
Yeah,
It may not be what you desire
yeah.
because they'll give you work, but it may not be the work that leads you to the path that you want to take. So this is a very good point. And let's go back to your story about getting into GovTech. How was it working in that area? I was just very interested in learning more about just your experiences working in that industry.
Oh, so okay. Here's my favorite thing about government contracting. So I want to create two separate distinctions. People think about government contract jobs, which is where you get up, you go to
Mm,
work every day. That is invaluable. It's a big industry. It is actually a lot of the black wealth lies in contract jobs, specifically in the wealthiest parts of the country where black people live, which is
true.
right in that DMV area.
Yeah.
So that was to me as a kid. My uncle, when I was younger, he built a townhouse, and it was a four-story townhouse, and I had never seen that much house. Then we went to his friend's house.
Mm.
He had a bigger house. He was in the military, left the military, he got into government contracting. And then we went to the other friend's house, same thing. I spent
Whew.
the entire week in the DMV in these gigantic, beautiful homes. And I have always been, even a little kid, I'm like, what do you do for work? What does that mean? And so I think that, like, when it came full circle, how I got into doing government contracting was I did technical writing. When I graduated college, there were no jobs. I did my contract, it ended. There was no opportunity for renewal. And a friend tapped me and said, "You're a good writer, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you want to get into grant writing?" So I started writing grants. And then eventually I started writing proposals for contracts. And the great thing about that skill set and about government contracting is that, unlike a job where you have to stay, right, and you can only do one at a time, you could have multiple contracts across multiple industries and
Ooh.
apply your skill set as you see fit. And so I want to take that a little bit further, because you asked me a question, but I want to make sure I sell this to people appropriately.
Yeah.
um, and that is that you could have a contract. So let's just say, let's pick something in tech. Let's say you're a scrum master, as an example, right? Something that's not necessarily super technical, but you have an excellent skill set. You could do that as a company for Department of Transportation in Illinois, Department of Education in Ohio, Department of Public Works in Miami. And at
Mm.
no point would they be like, "Oh my God, you can't do that." On the flip side, right, you could not do that same job multiple times for the same organization. If you work for Google, you work for Google as, a senior manager. You can't be a senior manager and then take on a contract in a junior role. The government says that's okay if you
Mm.
do that. And so what I like about contracting, so government contracting, I like that the ing to make that distinction, is
Yeah.
that you can, as a company, a small business, get a multi-million dollar contract all at once, right? And so
Wow.
how I got into it in the tech side was the same thing. I told you guys, community and networking. And so I like to challenge myself in different ways. I have a team that helps me write proposals. And I was like, man, what's the next industry? Like, what's the one that we want to get into? And there were two: medical and technical. Medical takes a little bit more heavy lifting, but a lot of people have technical expertise they could lend to the company. And so, literally, sincerely, I reached out to a friend. He wasn't working. I was like, "You ever thought about doing a government contract?" He was like, "I want a job." I was like, "Okay, well, how about this? How about you look for a job, we look for a contract, and whichever one comes first, you do that one." And
Nice.
I had to talk to his wife because he's just stubborn. So I went to his wife. I was like, "Hey, listen, this is how much these contracts could be. Like, this
She's
could
like,
change your life."
girl, say less.
Yes, she did. She was like, "Oh yeah, let me know what you need." So you sometimes you have to go around people, right? So needless to say, he had his first contract. Since then, they've made millions as a company. And he always says that, like, he never set out to be an entrepreneur. And so he, even though he was making millions, he missed a job because contracting is not as intense. So he went and got a job. So now he has this multi-million dollar
Whoa.
company, right? That literally multi-million dollar company, and he goes to work every day. He likes structure. He did not enjoy staff management, and he did not enjoy, like, sometimes, like, during the day there was physically nothing he could do but wait. So now that he has a job, he works every day, and his business sustains itself because he has management in place, he has a staff in place. So most people think you can do one or the other. With government contracting, you can do both. So if you are somebody who's like, I would, even if I had millions, I wouldn't feel secure. Cool, right? I'm not trying to change who you are. I'm trying to make you more money. Keep your job and have your contracts. That's the leverage, the credibility, the stability that you crave. You created with government contracting, and that's why I think I love it so much, and that's why I added it to my business as a growth strategy for small businesses.
Oh man, I almost had to pick up my jaw just now. You said he had $1 million company and he
Mhm.
was still able to still able to work his 9 to 5 just because he likes structure and he wants something to do.
Yeah.
Like y'all, if y'all picking up what she's putting down, I need you to put it in the comment section right now. I get it. Just say I get it. Those 3 words, I get it. Because right now, there's a lot of people here in this economy who's like, yes, listen. Well, let me backtrack because there's some people that I'm thinking I'm ready. I hear it. I hear it. I hear what you're saying. It's coming through to me. You're
Mhm.
like, how easy is it to get a government contract? It must be difficult. It must be hard. This can't be that easy. Can you can you talk about that?
Being broke is hard. Wanting things and not being able to afford them is hard. Not having food to eat is hard. Not having money to pay your bills is hard. Telling
Come
your
on
children
now.
no gifts on Christmas is hard. You pick your heart.
Ooh.
I think the key distinction of that is that the pain of getting a government contract is temporary, right? Like there is a long-term benefit to getting a government contracting. So I try not to give people information overload, and I want to explain to you. I like things in threes. I feel like threes people can digest. Number one, establishing your business. That is, and when I say establish, I mean you need to register with your Secretary of State. You need to have your city license for your business too. Most people skip the city license. You need a city license, okay?
Mm.
So get your paperwork together, your EIN, your website, your domain name, then your website, your email for your business, all of that, okay? That in total should take you less than $500. You don't have to do it all at once, but you should get that done. That is the bare minimum. Step two is if you're a new business, get really clear about what services you want to offer, how you intend to offer them. Okay. And that's usually where I come in for people because they can do the paperwork, but then they're like, well, I'm also, I'm a salesperson, I'm into tech, but by the way, I also used to be a school teacher, I can do curriculum advising, and I also have a recruiting firm too. And then you're like, okay, well, which one
Wow.
do you want to lead with? Right. And so we help them figure
Mm.
out, for me, almost always is what's available right now, like where is the most opportunity. And if you happen to be, for example, a career coach, there's a lot of executive search happening right now, so let's
Yes.
lean into that direction. Or if you tell me you have a marketing background, I just looked this up of 500 marketing opportunities, maybe let's lean that way. Okay, and then we figure out within that paradigm, where do you think you fit best, and then that piece is usually where people get stuck, and then we get right on through that very short order. Then there's the application process. Really quickly, how do you create a government contracting proposal? Answer the questions they ask you. Government contracting proposals
Mm.
are very literally applications in paragraph form. If you can read, if you can comprehend, and you know what? No, you don't even have to be able to read or comprehend. You can take it and put it in Chat GPT and ask Chat GPT, what is this asking me? And give me an example of what this is based on,
Mm.
okay? Um, if you can copy and paste, you can get yourself 80% of the way through a government contracting proposal. Now that 20% you have to pay me for, but most of it I just gave away to you. So the 3 steps are get official, get specific, and get to writing. Those are the 3 steps. Is it easy? I mean, to me, yeah. The steps are there. You know what's hard? Getting a job. Because you don't know what they're gonna say. You don't know really what they're looking for. You don't know what their culture is. There's so much nuance, and you need an expert to get you through that. Government contracting is paperwork. I'll take paperwork over people every day. No offense.
You got me smiling here because I could hear the passion in your voice. And I love what Tech Job Tina says. She says, facts, pick your hard. Like you
Yeah.
said it actually, pick your hard because life is not easy in general. But I know
No.
somehow somebody's listening to this and be like, that's just too hard. I ain't gonna do it. Da, 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 da. If you heard what was said earlier, she went to a couple. She spoke with the wife and said, listen, husband is being stubborn right now. We need to work together to get this going.
Yeah.
He had a million, was it like multi-million dollar
What's
contracts?
a
I think
million
you
dollars?
said
Yeah. Yeah.
multi-million dollar contracts. He was sitting on his hands basically and was able to get a job because he had the time and he could, and basically he liked structure. He was that felt comfortable to him.
Mhm.
How many of us are in a similar situation where we're like, yeah, I want more, and we're looking for something, and this could be possibly it. Listen, y'all, if this is right now, because I'm right now, I'm holding my head up. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm my eyes are glued. So if you find value in this, I need you to go ahead, like it. If doing that helps the algorithm push this out to more people, but go ahead and share this with somebody who you feel like, man, they've been looking for something. This might be that thing that they could add on to what they're doing already. Like, let me say it again for those in the back pews that didn't hear. Literally, work with a couple. Husband was able to get they both were able to get multi-million-dollar contracts because the couple is a unit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's working his 9 to 5. Let that sink in, y'all. And we just finished talking about that. I want to transition talking about ChatGPT hacks because I see it here on LinkedIn. You talk about ChatGPT hacks and GovCon proposal writing, which is kind of what you did. How are you able to leverage AI to expand your business and help others expand their business through AI? You kind of talked about that a little bit, but I'd
Ooh,
love to dive deeper.
this is my favorite subject. Okay. So I need to tell y'all, because we talked a little bit about who I was as a kid. I love the Jetsons. All right. Love. I'm the friend you FaceTime. I love FaceTime. It literally brings my heart abundant joy that we are living this close to what the Jetsons had. So for me, AI is just one step closer to my dream life, which is obviously living like the Jetsons. I want to give you some specific ways about how I've been able to help companies generate revenue because I told you I do revenue systems. Government contracting is a system that works for businesses, but there are other ways that you can generate revenue. Perfect example, I had a client who is a doctor's office, and I talk about him a lot. And I was like, you guys waste a lot of time. And he was like, oh, no, we're so productive. And I was like, no, I've been here an hour, and I literally could have done something different. So there's some small nuanced things that maybe in your business you can activate. So you ever leave the doctor's office and he tells you make an appointment with the lady at the front desk or the gentleman at the front desk, and you're standing there and you're leaning from side to side, you're ready to go home. So you leave, right? And the follow-up never happens. Preventative care is a huge deficit in healthcare spending every year. And I was like, what if instead of you waiting for the woman in the front, if they leave, right, it triggers a text message that says you need to follow up for XYZ. And if they don't do it at that point, they get 3 more text messages that reminds them that they need to follow up. You also send them reminder text messages about their appointment instead of a phone call. Like, it's at the time I was like, it's 2019. There's no reason for you to be wasting time or your people to be wasting time doing these kind of things. And immediately, right, he started making more money because people were booking their appointments and showing up, right? That was automated. So now this person who gets 0 touch points is getting 9 touch points. You know, like that, and you're doing nothing because you do it once and it does it for everybody. That's like an easy way to automate. If you're a small business owner and you have a lot of drop off with people not showing up to sales calls or people just not showing up for you consistently, you need to increase the volume of the way you communicate to people and add text messaging in. Text messaging, I think I read somewhere that 90% of text messages get opened. That's crazy. People don't check their email very often, but people
Wow.
open their text, right? So
Yeah.
implementing a text strategy in your business, if it's sales related, if it's simply client experience related, that's a huge thing we do is figure out how we can add text to make money. When it comes to government contracting with the proposals, listen, I'll give you the 80, which is I'll give you the proposal. I'll tell you what to put in. The 20, what people pay me for, is how you
Mm,
accurately increase your marketability and articulate your value, right? Because all business is really about marketability and how you articulate your value, right? Because people don't really
mm,
buy the product, they buy the person, they buy the packaging, they
yeah.
buy what is represented to them. And so that proposal template is really something I started doing for people because everybody's not a good writer. Like, I can write a proposal about just about anything without help, right? But it's selfish of me to assume that Joseph, who I'm gonna, as a joke, has a wife and 19 kids, that he has
Pretty
time.
close. I pretty close. I got 6 and one on the way. So yeah.
Oh, 7! Oh, that's wonderful. I'm a family. My,
7
my
heaven.
dad has 7 kids, 2 sets of
Ooh,
twins.
nice. Woo.
So listen, my life is a lot all the time. Um, so when you're thinking about how you can do it, like Joseph is busy, but if I give him this proposal template, he's intelligent and he's an expert in his industry. So what Joseph will do is he will say, okay, this is not exactly what I meant to say, but he'll add in what he needs to add in, right? And it's
Mm.
all based on what's in the proposal. I told you, just answer the questions. And so if you take that question and you can literally tell, I'll give you a quick example here. So say it's in marketing and they ask you to explain, what does rebranding our waterfront look like, right? And let's say you have a tourism background, so you're not really sure, and they tell you why they're doing it. So you type in, you copy and paste why they're doing it, and then you say, and they ask this question, and then you can put, here's my background, and then it can say, and you can tell it, create an answer to the question, and it'll pop out something, right? But
Mm.
maybe it forgets to mention that you feel like an important part of the rebranding is coming up with like some art installation or something like that, right? You got to put your sauce on it. So then you go back and add in your art installation, whatever it is you decide, right?
Yeah.
Um, Chat GPT will get you, I would say 70 to 80% of where you need to be. And then that last percentage, you have to activate your genius and apply it.
Mhm. In the beginning, God created. The first thing he did was create. Y'all have to use your creativity to make sure, and using your knowledge and your experience to make sure that you're building out the perfect solution. I think it's honestly the way everything's going to be. We're using AI. It's going to be a part of our lives going forward. That's just the way it is. If you have not adapted it as of yet, get yourself well versed in it as much as you can, because it is here. It is here to stay. And so, with that being said, y'all, I promised you that we're going to the Q&A section. If you have found anything of value and you are looking for any resources, type in, if you're on LinkedIn, go ahead and type in tech sales. Or if you are looking for anything technical, type in technical. Even if it's even if you want to follow up and find out for more resources from Chanel,
Yeah.
I'll have a team member send that to you. Just type it in the bottom so we know who to send it to. So if you want to find out more about gov contracting, if you want to find out more about these different things, if you want to find out more specifically about tech sales, how to grow and develop in your career, or other technical things, whether it's software development, whether it is, I'm going to list it all later. But yeah, if you want to find out more about those different things, go ahead and type in below, and we'll have somebody from the show with the email support technichetips.com reach out to you, so that way you can get the resources that you need. But yes, go ahead and do that, and we're going to go into the Q&A portion of this conversation. And just so you know what the question is going to be, it's from Angela, and she asks, how do I know what I can parlay into a government contract? The question again is, how do I know what I can parlay into a government contract? All right. So with that being said, hold on tight, y'all. We are going to be right back after a commercial break, but go ahead and type in your questions below, and we'll see you on YouTube. Again, the Q&A is going to be on YouTube exclusively. So you're on LinkedIn, you see that ticker at the bottom that says go to youtube.com/at Techniche Tips. You're going to want to do that during the commercial break, because after the commercial break, if you're on LinkedIn, we ain't gonna see you. You gotta come over to the YouTube side for
Well, let me
that.
say about it. Can I say goodbye on LinkedIn really quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Do your
So
thing.
I'll do something really quick. If you're on LinkedIn, I want to just say something to you, and I hope this inspires you to take action. I didn't mention this, but I got fired from my job during the pandemic and got thrusted
Mm.
into entrepreneurship. I started my first business, which is an Airbnb with 4 cents. That's all I had left to my name. Um,
Oh wow.
Being broke and failing are things that are temporary, but the pain of not betting on yourself is long lasting. You'll never regret betting
Ooh.
on yourself. So
Yeah.
please do join us over on YouTube. But I hope that little nugget, convinces you to stretch a little bit.
Yeah. 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 We could definitely talk about that for sure. And y'all come over to YouTube, because we're not done yet. She got some more gems to drop, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. So definitely come over to the side, and we both will see you over there. Thank you, family. Back again. You talked about Course Careers Technology Sales Course and what it did to change my life. Wait, there's more. Not only is it technology sales and information technology courses as well, now there's human resources, customer success, UI, UX, and did I even mention that there also is software development as well? Front end, back end, and DevOps? Listen, this is something that you definitely want to take advantage of. So go ahead, click that link. Don't forget there's a discount from me if you click that link, and I hope to see you on the other side. Hey, I didn't forget about you. You're a person that needs to be in a place where you are working close with someone else, a mentor, a friend, someone that could take you to the deeper and more intricate parts about being a sales engineer, but you don't know where to go. Learnful is a program that allows you to work with people that are high ranking sales engineers, solution architects, solutions advisors, and they're able to not only mentor you, but teach you the ways to become a sales engineer that can be impactful for you. If you think that Learnful is for you, go ahead and click on the link below for more information. You can use my promo code Joseph150 to be able to save. Go ahead and click the link below. And now back to our show. All right, we are back. We are back. Thank you so much for all the LinkedIn family members that joined us. But don't worry, it's not over. Y'all can come over to the YouTube side. We are here for you. We are here. This y'all. I think there's certain conversations that I have on the show. A lot of them are very valuable. Don't get me wrong, but there are certain conversations that we have where I'm like, listen, if people could just catch this and not basically get so like, oh, this is so hard, whatever. I get it. Sometimes there's things that are not for you. Like I'm not gonna come out tomorrow and be the best software developer in the world. I probably might not even be a great beginning software developer in the world. But my thing is tech sales, and I'm gonna pursue that, and I'm gonna try my best to do that and go above and beyond. This is one of those episodes, y'all, that if you can catch what Chanel is putting down, you can change your family's life going forward. Like, 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 so that's why I'm excited for this Q&A. And so let's get back to that question because I did start, and hopefully Angela's here. Angela, if you're on this side, please let us know. But yeah, I do have Angela here, and she says, "How do I know what I do can parlay into a government contract?"
Okay, so this is my favorite too. Right now, today, because I always check before I have any conversation, the government is looking for a kidney bean vendor, like kidney beans.
Yes.
The Federal Bureau of Prisons is looking to purchase kidney beans. I just saw paper shredding, document printing, document scanning. I think what they buying an airplane. I've also seen ride share, um, marketing and branding. I haven't seen tech sales, but I have seen a, an innumerable amount of contracts for tech related skill sets. I saw call centers, debt collection. Okay, so if you know anybody with a call center, debt collection is huge right now. I auditing. I saw there's quite a bit of auditing, um, executive search. I think that was 10. I try to give 10, right? So that if you're noticing, the government is a business that does not actually manufacture anything, and it has a finite amount of resources and an unlimited amount of needs. So anything that you have, oh, catering. I'm so sorry, I forgot catering. Lots of catering right now.
Ooh.
So if you are a service business or a physical product based business, the government is looking for your skill set. Okay. To answer your question, find out what contracts are available and be open. I think that people feel like I'm in tech sales. I cannot find a tech sales job. There are no contracts for me. Well, what is sales? Like what about sales that take those skills, right? Write them down, and then you can Google. I'm excellent at writing, right? So maybe you do like the copy for the sales for tech, right? And so you say I'm excellent at writing. You could do marketing, right? Because Sales copy and marketing could also lend itself to marketing and branding.
Ooh,
Um,
so good.
right? And you can just figure out what you do really well and sell it to the government. And if you're like, you know what, my brain is tired, Chanel, stop. Listen, they buy screws, they buy desk. What did I say the other day? Ink pens, printer paper. These are all things that like you can buy and sell to the government. Gift cards. Gift cards around the holidays. The government is always buying gift cards. You can go buy gift cards and sell them to the government. Right?
Hold on a second. Let's break this down for people. I don't know if they caught that.
Yeah.
So you can literally be a reseller for the government.
Yeah, I try not to use that word because
Okay.
then people try to think they can drop shit. Um,
Oh,
so so technically, I guess you could drop ship it, but the easiest way to explain that is like absolutely, you can be a reseller, um, and they know that you are purchasing from somewhere and selling it to them.
yeah.
The one caveat I would say is that if you want to get into that, you need to make sure you follow instructions really well. See, like with marketing and branding and tech sales and other things, there's some negotiability. When you get into physical products, the government will tell you, because this is an example that somebody used and I always use it for other people. They bought tires, like 18-wheeler tires. And so somebody, like 100 of them. And so they shipped the 100 to the government. They refused the delivery because they asked them to be single pallets, so one tire per pallet, and then wrapped. Okay. So what did the person do? They had to go and fly and unwrap 100 tires, get 100 pallets, put 100 tires on 100 pallets, and then wrap them and give them to the government.
That
Right?
probably cost them more than they bargained for.
Probably. But what I'll say is that, like, and this is not a knock on that person. So if you're watching this is not a knock on you. This is an example of like how little details get lost in the sauce. And
Mm,
you know how if you want to do that, right? Like I'm sure that person got 100 other contracts after that, right? And there's a
yeah.
bunch of examples I can give to you. Somebody ordered the wrong kind of cement. I can do this all day, right? These things happen. But my point is that when you get into that, you need to make sure that if you're not detail oriented, you add somebody to your team immediately who is obnoxiously into the details.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sailor. Taking a break to let that simmer. Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all go ahead. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it down in the chat. Again, if you want any resources when it comes to tech sales or anything technical, either put tech sales or technical in the chat so that way I can have somebody from my team reach out to you to provide you resources that can be beneficial to you for sure. And I'll probably be also able to chime in there and provide some resources myself. But yeah, go ahead and put that in the chat. And I see y'all who already did that. I already started y'all. I already have you guys for later on, so that's great. Because this is ooh la la. We have some things to talk about here. I had a so just to break it down for people because they're chewing on it. They're nibbling on it. If you can't provide a service, if you can provide a product like that catering thing, I'm like, how many caterers in the DMV area are like killing it right now with contracts? Like tons.
Yeah, think about it this way. So my uncle had a contract with our local school district, where they provided full concession stands, right? So concession stands are a perfect example of being a vendor and having a government contract that people don't even think about. That's a prime example of it. The military buys food. You can provide catering for them. They do retreats. Like the government is a business. The same way
Yeah.
Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, like Sidley Austin, all of them are companies and the government is the biggest client you can ever have. Like in every country, their government is the biggest company, period, right? So when you think about
Mm,
does catering make sense? Yeah, like you can do the catering, it'll be very hard, but in theory, you can do the catering for a local school district, right? Like,
mm.
um, and but what that means is that you can provide the food services for the different school districts. To be fair, the big companies have probably already got there, but the private schools, that's not a government contract. But to answer your question, it's a blue ocean of opportunity.
Wow. Wow. We actually got a question from a friend of the show, Mr. Ty Smith himself, who basically said, what websites should we check for contracts? What websites should we check for government contracts?
Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to spell it out. If you put it in the chat, I'm actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to type it in the
Oh
chat.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's fine too. That works. Whatever. Yep, and then I'll pull it up here, and we could definitely talk about it for sure. First one is, and I think I have it as sam.gov. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Sam.gov. Beautiful. All right, y'all. Not only am we going to talk about it, but I'm going to show you because that's what we do here. We go behind, we show you things, right? All right. So, Sam.gov, can you explain this website for somebody who's like, okay, this seems cool. What is this about?
Okay, so that's the federal government's procurement website. And I usually start off by telling people that procurement is the industry. So it's not
Mm,
government contracts, it's procurement. It's PROCUREMENT, procurement.
yeah.
Okay. This is the federal government's procurement website. So if you okay, go back, can you go back up to the top, please?
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
you see home,
Yep.
you see right next to home, you see search,
Yep.
search. Okay, so you see all domains. Will you click that?
Yep.
Click contract
Okay.
opportunities.
All
Okay,
right.
so can you remove Ty's comment because I can only see a small portion of the
Oh,
website.
yeah. Not
Sorry,
a problem.
Ty.
We love you, Ty. No problem. But let me just put it down
Okay.
here. Yeah.
And then when you scroll down to place of performance, so it says
Okay.
federal organizations, dates. Okay, there you go. And then can you, for country, can you put United States?
Sure.
No,
United States.
no, that's state territory.
Oh,
Take
I
that
missed
out, and
it.
then one, and,
One more down.
yep.
There we go. United States of America. Come
If
on,
you just type,
United.
there it
There we
is.
go.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right.
Go back up to the top really quick, and I want to have you do one more thing. So you see
Okay.
that number, that 13,293. Will you scroll down on the left hand side more for me?
Yeah, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for myself here.
Okay.
So you said the
Scroll
the
down.
numbers. Yeah, keep scrolling. You said.
Yeah. Okay. So you see where it says status on the left hand side? If you use sam.gov, please always make sure active is clicked. It
Okay.
is already is, so you can leave it. I wanted to make
Yep.
sure. If unclick active, because I wanted people to know the difference. So unclick active.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, scroll back up to the top. You see that number is over 1 million?
Wow, that's what you're talking about. That. Yeah. Look at all
Yeah.
that.
So that's
So that's
any
a
ever.
wow.
You don't want to do that. So go back and click active again so we can make sure that we're only looking at earning potential. Okay.
Perfect.
So 13,000 makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Um, and then so you can search. It's a little wonky, but under you see where it says all words on the left hand side with simple search. Scroll down a little
Yep.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can you type in bean and see what happens?
Like kidney
BEAN.
bean.
Yeah, just bean and see what happens.
All right. Press enter. I have bean
It's
here,
still they
and
still buying beans. So scroll down. There's only 3. Okay, it must have closed yesterday. I think it did close yesterday. So you see where
okay.
these are all like menu options,
Yeah. National
right?
menu. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, random, right? On the so I don't want to spend too much time here because people can get lost in the sauce, but
Okay.
that's how you use it, right? Because we could do this all day. I want people to like feel free. You won't break it, but that's how you use sam.gov. And I want to show them something else really quickly.
Sure.
So at the can you go to this? Can you go to Google?
Sure. Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
I'm in Google right now. What would you like me to type up? And then I'm going to transfer it over.
Okay. Will you type in Chicago procurement?
Chicago procurement. And just for those who don't know, can you break down procurement in itself while I do this?
Okay. So what procurement is? It's the industry, right? So think about the government is procuring. So they're purchasing, acquiring products, goods, services, talents, skills,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, all the fun things. And so the industry that you're interested in getting into is procurement. Um, and it'll come up. So while he's Googling it, if you type in like Houston procurement or I think Dallas, let's use Dallas. So there's a Dallas city and a Dallas county. I don't know why that's the case. They shouldn't have done that. It's so confusing. Um, will you go back a page? Because I want to show them what it looks like on Google.
Okay.
Okay, this is perfect. So the first one says procurement services. Obviously, Joseph beat us to the punch, right? If you type in your city or state plus procurement, it'll come up as a procurement, right? Or it'll come up as purchasing. If you look at the screen, right under procurement services, it says current bid opportunities. It might come up as current bid opportunities as well. It might come
Mm,
up as open bids, open proposals. It's very active bids, active proposals. It is something that lets you know that it's now, and that's what you're
yeah.
going to be looking for. And you don't have to click on the site because otherwise I'd have to explain it to them, and most people won't be looking in
Yeah.
Chicago. So it'll come up as one or two things, purchasing or procurement, right? And so what you're going to be looking for on this website is any opportunity that you think may suit you. Now, remember I told y'all you can do Houston, Chicago, DC,
Yeah.
wherever you want to at the same time. I'm going to give you another website you can pick. It's I'm going to put it in the chat and then I'll say what it is.
Okay, no problem. And while you do that, if y'all are taking down notes, say notes in the comment section, because I want to make sure, I want to see who is actually taking down notes. We do have a question, but I'm gonna let you finish this part first before we go to that question. In fact, I'm gonna start right now so I don't lose it. But yeah, I'm gonna go now to this website that you provided here because I'm being obedient. I know this is good.
Because
It's good
I
stuff right
told
here.
so I told you guys you can go to a bunch of different cities, states, and you can work all of them. I don't want you to spend a bunch of time going to a bunch of different websites. My motto is work less, earn more, live better. It has to be
Mm,
one of those three, right? If it doesn't, I can't participate. So this website, full
mm,
disclosure, I do not work for them. I do not own it. I don't have an affiliate link. I have no relationship with them.
yeah,
Okay. But it's a resource that will make you money and save you time, right? So it's under my work less, earn more. Um, at the top, you see where it says RFP status. Will you click that,
yeah.
please?
Yes, let me find it because I thought I
Oh,
saw it,
no,
but
no. So you see where it says it's in one of the white boxes, like one of the drop down menus. Down more. Just pull your
okay.
cursor straight down. Go back up.
Go back up.
Okay. So you see the
Oh,
toolbar
right
that
here. Yeah, there it goes.
click
Active,
that.
right?
Yep, please.
All right, perfect.
Okay. And then for country, will you put United States? Now, full disclosure, this is city, state, county. Do not go on here looking for federal opportunities. It's not a good fit.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
then, do you want to put a state in there too?
Nope. I want you to stop there.
Okay.
Now, under category,
Mm-hmm.
you see where it says type category. Will you click that?
Yep.
Okay. I think it's
Web design.
83
Wow.
different categories. Have a blast.
Woo.
Let's go to number 6. Can you scroll back up? Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot.
okay.
AI and
Okay.
machine learning.
Wait,
Click
no,
search
no.
now.
Click, wait, click. I'm not a robot. Underneath search now, you see I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to tell them you're not a robot.
Okay.
Um, click search now. I
All
skip
right.
it all the time.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, how many? There's 17 opportunities across the country for AI and machine learning. Okay, I don't know what
Woo.
that means. But let's go back up because I just want to show them that the potential is there. We're not going to click on any.
Okay.
Um, under the categories, click X that one out.
Yep.
You can now when you scroll all the way down to the bottom and show them how many it is. I think it's like 83,
Yep. You're right. It's
84.
83, 84 actually. But you
Oh,
said
they
no
added
U.S. federal
one?
though, right? U.S.
Yeah.
federal.
Yeah, but that's okay. They added one. I wonder what the one is that they added. Okay, sorry. I
That's
won't
right.
distract y'all with my curiosity. Click on 78 and see if anything's there right now.
Toiletries, services, supplies. Click on that one, right? I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
sometimes
to I'm not a robot.
yeah, and advanced search. And then sometimes they just want porta potty. Sometimes it's stuff there, sometimes it's not. Yeah,
Okay.
so not right now, and that's okay. But towards the summer they'll want porta potties. Um okay, so then you can click another category. Let's try to find
Sure.
something else tech.
Tech related. I mean, first of all, web design and development. Some people are
Oh,
doing
you can
that.
try that one sometimes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the web design development ends up in the marketing and branding. So it may or may not be there.
Mm,
How many is that? 104. So now we went from
wow.
17 to 104. So 17, 104, 114, 125. Is that the
Yeah.
math? Yeah.
I
125
believe so.
opportunities. If not, bill me.
Here's one thing that caught my eye as you're talking. They actually have, call center and answering, but
Yeah.
data entry. you
Yeah,
know, like let me just do that real quickly because that's just caught my eye. Where
for it.
basically you're just imputing information on their behalf. It sounds
Yeah.
like you can do that now, y'all. Like it's like that's something you can do right
You
now.
can do the document scanning and printing too.
Ooh,
I don't
ooh,
know which number that one is, but that's up there too.
yeah, Missouri paper to digital document scanning. So you
Yeah.
literally just get a scanner and you're just scanning on behalf.
Yeah, there's this paper shredding one too all the time. Um,
Oh my goodness.
so I hope that, because I know we're like lean on time and I'm a stickler for making sure that I show up and perform under the amount of time I have. In my mind, I'm a comedian. So you know how the comedian come out and they're like, all right, thank you, have a good night.
All right.
So I know we only have 2 more minutes. Um, I want to make sure that people know that this is a resource. Oh, you have to pay for this. It'll show you what's available, but you have to pay for the different RFPs, RFQs, RFIs. It's like
Hmm.
$50 per industry. My thing is that $50 to find something that can make you millions is a no-brainer, but $50 to find out you never want to do this, also a no-brainer. Business is about investing, not spending money, investing. And sometimes that investment is what I like to call risk mitigation. So it helps you
Yeah.
understand it's not what you want to do, or it could also be a value add, right? Meaning
Mm.
it can teach you about what's available. It can make you money. Neither of which is bad for your business.
You know what? Another way to avoid risk too is Chanel.
Hmm.
They need to just reach out to you. They need to reach out to
For
Chanel
sure.
Rose and be like, "Listen, this is what I'm thinking right now. I need some time up for you because your time is valuable, Chanel,
Right.
and I need to go through this. I want to make sure I'm picking the right things for me because you telling me I can make money just shredding paper. You know what that means? That's like easy work. I could literally do that while I'm doing my job. Like other people could do that while they're doing their job. Like
Yeah.
that is bonkers. But I gotta go to this question real quickly here. I'm gonna bring it back to the full screen. But I do have one more question from Tech Job Tina. And then I'm gonna let you go, sis, because it's a Saturday right before Super Bowl. We got a lot of stuff that you probably could
And
be doing right
Valentine's
now.
Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day. And she's like, don't forget Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yes. I got it. I
Y'all
should
probably
put
heard him in the background.
husbands.
Around.
Ooh, do not forget Valentine's Day, husbands and significant others. Because I just remembered. But yes, let's go back to this question here. I love this. Tech Job Tina says. So, from your experience, how much time on average should someone expect to invest before they score their first contract?
Incalculable. There's no way for me to give you that answer. Um,
Mm,
there's this like industry thing that says that on average if you apply to 10 you'll get one. There are some people who apply to their first one to get it. There's some people who apply to their eighth and get it. There are so many variables like time of year,
mm,
availability, um, industry, um, location. There's so
yeah.
many variables. I think a good rule of thumb is, let me frame this for you differently. 85% of requests for proposals get 5 or fewer applicants, which means that if you apply, on average, you have a 20% chance of winning that contract. Conversely, if you
Mm,
apply for a job, like let's just say it's 200, I know it's more than that. The average job is 200 applications. You have a 1 in 200 chance of getting that job you apply for. And we all know you apply for sometimes dozens of jobs. I'm not anti-job. Don't quit your
yeah.
job. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you're framing the question in a way that like boxes me into something that I can't really
Mm,
fairly give you an answer to. But you need to know this instead, that if you apply, on average, you have a 20% chance of getting the contract.
that's
At
high.
some point, you're going to live in your 20%.
Wow. That's high. That's
Mm-hmm.
high. And like you said, it's a wide ocean. It's a blue ocean where
Mm-hmm.
there's going to always be contracts, always going to be needs. And so, yeah, this is good. This is good information, y'all. And again, Chanel has experience working in the GovTech area as arena as well.
Yeah.
And so if you want to go ahead and connect with Chanel, especially if you're watching us on YouTube, her information is in the description below. Thank you for that question, by the way. Tech Top Tina. Tech Job Tina. But if you want to connect with Chanel, you can see right there. Hello, Chanel Rose. Is that on all your social media platforms? Hello, Chanel Rose.
Yeah, I'm typically the first Chanel Rose that shows up.
Okay.
I'm Hello Chanel Rose on Instagram. I'm Hello Chanel Rose on TikTok. I am just Chanel Rose on LinkedIn. But
Yeah.
if you type it in, you'll find me. I'm
Yeah.
not on. I'm not on X, Twitter, whatever, and I'm not on Snapchat. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Got
those are two
you.
places where I'm not.
And right here, if they want to connect with you right away via email, I believe they can go to
Mhm.
Chanel at. In fact, let me make that a little bit clearer for the audience so that they know exactly what that is. This is her email address, y'all. So go ahead and you could even email her Chanel at, and this is your
CR.
initials. You told me that before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
CR Agency,
yeah,
CRAgency.com. So
yeah.
go ahead and connect with your girl. She was there to help and provide resources to you. And I got a lot of thumbs up from people like, consider it done. Tech Bag Trays put a thumbs up as well. D Stoner
Thank
put a thumbs
you
up.
guys.
And these still, I didn't miss your comments, but remember on YouTube, I can't communicate back with you. So you would have to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Let me know who you are, and I'll be able to provide you those resources for tech sales and other things as well. I started, so I didn't forget you. But thank you, everybody, for coming through. I don't want to keep you and the boo away from all the different things y'all have planned and stuff. So you go ahead, you do you. In a few, we're gonna just jump off in a moment. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you to the audience again. Thank you for always being supporting this channel. We are here to provide you resources, tangible stuff, practical stuff that you could take with you and utilize it either today or tomorrow. And so I just want to tell you a special thank you. And go ahead if you this is mean a lot to you. If this is something that you're like, oh man, I could think of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 people that could benefit from this information, go ahead and share it with others as well. We're not gatekeepers here. We are opening the gate for others. And with that being said, which I promised myself not to say too often, but I only said it once. Uh,
Yeah, you did
Thank
good.
you. I did. I saw my notes. I have my notes there. Thank you, family. And until next time, I hope to see you all on the other side. Take care, family.